Imagine losing everything tomorrow. No team, no product, no funding, just a problem to solve. Could you build a 1 million startup from scratch in today's oversaturated market? I've done it before. I've built 3 startups with 2 acquisitions and 1 IPO, generating over 200 million in value. And if I had to start over right now, I'd do it completely differently with strategy and tools I wish I had back then. Most people like to start with a few business ideas. I would like to start with a problem, the kind that people complained over dinner, or the kind that keep people up at night. And then I'll use this framework, I call it CPV, Customer Perceived Value. It's how I turn any messy, everyday frustration into a straightforward business that actually works. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I use it, not just to come up with ideas, but to validate them fast, test MVPs, and even use AI the smartest way. Okay, so what is this Customer Perceived Value framework? It has 4 Ps. So start with number 1 is problem. What is the critical problem I can solve? 2, product. With what kind of solution or product to solve this problem? 3, people. Who do I need in my team to build this product to solve that problem? And lastly, price. How do I charge it in a way that can get me into 1 million this year? This is actually how I built every business from scratch, and it's what I will do today. So at dinner the other night, my husband told me something I couldn't stop thinking about. He said, did you know that young people in the US are having way less sex? And not just that, dating apps have made it so hard, especially for men, to find a date. Some guys are swiping like 1,000 times just to get one date that actually show up. That's a real problem. It's very painful and it's frustrating. And then because I grew up in China, I immediately think about another group, highly educated women in their late 20s or 30s. We call them 剩女 or leftover women. If you graduate from college and then get a master's degree or a PhD, by the time you graduate from your degree and start working, you are 28 or 30, and that you are already past the prime age of dating. Maybe there's a match here, a human problem on both sides. Now, the second thing I want to figure out is, instead of saying this is for everyone, it's too broad. I need to go more specific. So in the startup land, we call this ICP, Ideal Customer Profile. So in this example, it is the Western man who feel burned out by modern dating apps, and highly educated Chinese women who want a serious, respectful relationships. Now we figure out the ICP. The next step, we will need to figure out, how do I start solving this problem right now without complicating it? Long term, I think this could absolutely become an app, but there's so many mobile apps there, and I don't want to invest a lot of money and time building app. You need product market fit, you find real customer insight, and a clear value prop before you invest in the tech. Instead of starting with code, I'm starting with curated high trust matchmaking as a service. Offer hand-picked matches, host small virtual or in-person events, create an experience that feels intentional, thoughtful, different from the swipe culture. And here's the beauty of it. I use AI behind the scenes for things like language translation, onboarding, communication, prompts to make it smoother and more scalable. And the beauty is that I don't need to build these AI tools myself. There's a lot of tools here today that can do this for very low cost or even completely free. So why do I need to reinvent the wheel? So the goal here is I want to launch fast, talk to users, make some money while doing this. Then once I know what works, I can build the app, build the platform, build the system. But let's start with solving a real business problem first before I implement tech to scale it. So this is how I take a 1 million business and scale into a 1 billion business. What's next step? MVP. Let's test out our minimal value product. Once I know who my customers are and what problem I'm solving, I want to test it fast. This is where a lot of first-time founders overthink things. They try to build final version too soon, or they will build in a cave without getting feedback from the real life situations. So all I need right now is a way to see people want this. Instead of launch with a full app or platform, I could test with simple offers. For example, free tier. They get 1 match per month just to get people in the door. One thing I would include even in my MVP is an AI dating coach. I've constantly hear people say, I don't know what to talk, running out of topics. Not everyone is great at presenting themselves or knowing what to say on a first date, especially if you're shy, introverted, and especially cross cultures. So I use AI to help with that. It's a small feature, but it builds confidence and make the whole experience feel safer and more supportive. And it doesn't take that much to build something like that. We can use our own AI tool to do this for free. And then make it more fun. fun and rewarding. I'd add a leaderboard for people who rate each other after dates. The most positive one reviewed users could win something big, like a free trip to meet their top-rated match in a beautiful neutral destination. This is the MVP. It's very scrappy, simple, and exciting, but most important, it tells me if people are willing to engage, to pay, and to share. If they are, I'm in business. Step 5, go to market. How do I actually get to 1 million in revenue fast? The key is to focus on the easiest side first. Acquisition is cheap and more direct. So you can acquire the Asian woman first, or you can acquire US men first. But for me, I think the easiest one would be the Chinese woman segment. They are serious about love. They're underserved by the apps, and already in the communities I know I can reach. If I get 2,000 women paying $50 a month, that's 1.2 million a year. Boom. I've already over my target. But I can't stop there because you can't grow both sides at the same time just to be more strategic and keep the momentum going. Men in US might not cost more to acquire, so I start with content and community, not just ads. I offer value through real stories, early testimonials, and maybe even start free for the US men. And here's the idea that I also test out early on. What if we live stream parts of the dating journey? Not awkward stuff, but the sweet moments, the real connections. It's very raw, it's human, and honestly, just great content. People love watching love happen. They'll comment, share, root for couples. It builds trust, builds audience. And lastly, we have 4 P's in the CPV. We have product, problem, pricing, but the most important part is the people who I would bring in to build this together. Can I do this all by myself? Technically, yes. But if I want to go faster and smarter, I'd bring in 2 key people right away. First, I'd find a well-educated Chinese woman who understands this demographic deeply, maybe even a small creator to help build communities, content, and trust on the women's side. Then I'd bring in a Western guy who's been through dating app fatigue, someone who can relate to other men, speak the language, and help recruit the first batch of emotionally intelligent members. Together, we'll grow both sides of the platform, test offers fast, and create brand that feels human, not corporate. As you know, I make these videos in between running my startup and raising young children. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot if you could leave a comment or hit subscribe button. Your support genuinely motivates me to keep creating more content like this. Now that we have used the CPV framework to take this idea from 0 to $1 million, the next big question is, how do I take this very scrappy, profitable business into something much, much bigger? Maybe even $1 billion valuation company, without turning into a 500-person VC field stress machine. Here's how I would do it to build any company going forward using this way. First, the team. The beauty of a building startup in the AI era is that you don't need that big of a team. You can totally be a very relaxing 15-person billion-dollar company if you want to. I want to keep it small on purpose. I will bring in someone in China who really understands the women who we are serving, and someone in the US who gets where our ideal guys are coming from and even speak their language. And then a strong product person, maybe a designer, also a CTO with 2 or 3 engineers to build out some techs to scale our business. With this setup, I think 10 to 15 people could run something pretty massive. Then second part is the AI. Not to replace people, but to support them. The cool part of this is a lot of this repetitive stuff like onboarding women, onboarding men, coaching these people, matchmaking can be handled by AI. The one thing I found is the AI is not very judgmental and very patient. That's better than any human employee could deliver. So the idea is I wanted to build a great experience first, then decide would like to use a human to drive the strategy and AI to take care of the execution of the repetitive tasks. AI will keep it at the high standard ongoing. And lastly, for go-to-market, I will tell the story, literally. You remember I talked about the reality TV show idea? I would totally do it. Real couples, real stories, filmed and shared with the world. Not in a cringy way, but in a thoughtful, fun, and human way. Added with some relationship coaching in here. People love rooting for love. And honestly, that would be my best marketing channel. That's how I'd scale. A small team, smart AI, and a storytelling people care about. Now that I've thought through this whole idea, I kind of want to build it. But right now, I'm deep in building this AI platform I've been pulling my heart into. So I won't be launching a dating startup anytime soon. That said, if you think this is a good idea, feel free to steal it. Seriously. At the end of the day, it could solve a massive human problem and be a very profitable business. And if you do end up building something like this, shoot me a message. I would love to cheer you on, maybe even invest. I hope this video helped you see how to take a simple complaint, something you hear at dinner or read online, and turn into a real validated business idea. That's what CPV is all about. Finding real problems, solving them smartly, and using tools like AI to scale without burning out. Now you have my complete framework to build a 1 million startup from scratch. Here's the real problem. Once you've identified your big idea, how do you actually validate it with real market-driven data before investing all your time and money? That's exactly what I cover in this video right there, the new way to do market research in 2025, where I show you how to leverage AI to do in hours what used to take a month. I'll see you over there.